Crystal Palace 2, Chelsea Football Club 2. Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 2, Chelsea 4, AC Milan 1. Crystal Palace win the Community Shield today. Not a lot of people saw that coming. Not a lot of people thought that was going to happen. But here we go. It's done. It's dusted. It's over the line. They did it. They absolutely did it. And I'm trying to get the scores up on my screen and they're not showing. And I don't know why they're not showing on the screen. I don't know what's happened here. It's on my overlay. But anyway, we'll come back to that on another day, another moment, another time. Crystal Palace pick up their second bit of silverware in just under a few months at Wembley. Liverpool started brilliantly but faded in this game. Lots to talk about. Lots to go through. We're also covering Chelsea on this show. Crazy they had a friendly on at the same time as the Community Shield. I don't know who organized that. It would have been nice to have watched both with maybe a little bit more attention, but I did cover both. Chelsea looked absolutely fantastic today. More to come on them later in the show. So Chelsea fans, sit back, stay with us. We're delving into that game in more detail. Don't you worry about that. But make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Get that bell notification button turned on as well. Very, very important to us that you do that. Very, very important indeed that you get that done and that you get that. Maybe if I press this button, does that work? No, it's not on my screen. I don't know where it's gone. I don't know why my overlay's gone funny, but I'm going to come back to that another day. I'm trying to fix it. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to keep talking football to you guys. But yes, get like buttons hit. Let's get this past 1,000 likes whilst we're live. Hit the subscribe button as well. And look, I'm going to start by talking about the Liverpool game. And the opening 25, 30 minutes, I thought Liverpool were majestic. They looked dangerous every time they went forward. Gakpo was on fire. Ekitike's opener, a good little bit of interplay between him and Wirtz. The strike was sublime into that bottom corner. And it looked as though it could be a very tough, very long, very hard, very, very difficult day. Oh, my scoreboard's up now. Wait, the scoreboard's there. It's now arrived. It looked like it was going to be a very long, very hard, and very difficult day for Crystal Palace. That was just my view, sort of watching. I've got to put my chair right. That's right. There we go. Everything feels better now. It was going to be a very hard, very tough, and very, very difficult day for Crystal Palace. Palace then got themselves back into it. I thought Van Dijk overall today, I thought we had a very, very poor game by his standards. By his standards, I felt he could have done so much better than he did. The penalty that he gave away was sloppy. It was a really weak challenge with his leg hanging out. Stonewall penalty, absolute foul. Palace back in the game, Mateta from the spot. And you thought, well, okay, game on now. But pretty quickly, Liverpool got back into it. Pretty quickly, Liverpool were able to take the lead very fortuitously. We all know for an absolute cast-iron fact that Frimpong didn't mean that shot. He will admit that himself because he's a man of honor. He went for the cross. He kind of mishit it, but it went in. It hit the back of the net, and they led. And for the rest of that first half, it was pretty much them. I felt in the second half, they still dominated Liverpool. They were still had the majority of the ball. They still looked pretty comfortable. But then the problem started to arise. I'm just going back, checking here the minutes here. And I started to see a difference when you got to around the 70th minute of the game. The 70th minute of the game, Hugo Ekitike was taken off. And what happened to Liverpool when they took him off is they really lost that focal point up front. They brought on McAllister. They brought on Endo to see the game out. And they did this many times last year, Liverpool, where they saw games out brilliantly. But they had no focal point up front. They had no central figure. And they just lost their shape a little bit. They lost their way. And Crystal Palace started to grow a little bit of confidence. Crystal Palace started to play a little bit. Crystal Palace started to, give it a little bit more. And Liverpool, whether it was a little bit lackadaisical, whether there's some fitness issues, or whether it was a little bit of underestimating Crystal Palace, they'd kind of lost their way a little bit in that game. The equaliser comes. Gakpo was far too weak on the ball. Ball played into Sarr. Another massive mistake from Van Dijk, stepping out, not in unison with his defence. Frimpong was sitting too deep as well. We can't ignore that. Sarr buries it. It's 2-2. And there were some chances. Mo Salah had a chance to win the game, hits it straight at the goalkeeper. And then right at the end, Delaney, I think was his name, Devaney, sorry, who scored the winning penalty, has a really good shot just wide. But it was a worthy 2-2 draw. Palace were worthy of drawing the game. They weren't worthy of losing. If you look at the statistics, which you can see on my screen right now, yes, Liverpool had more of the ball, but total shots, there's actually more attempts on goal by Crystal Palace. 4 to 5 on target, more corners for Crystal Palace. They completed a lot more passes than people expected. And I think that Liverpool will be really disappointed with themselves after about 35, 40 minutes in this game. I think taking Hugo Ekitike off was a mistake. Now, I understand winning the Community Shield isn't the most important thing. There's many big games to come. But it's a little bit of food for thought in there. In terms of a few players on the pitch, I mentioned Van Dijk already. I thought we had a really poor game today by his standards. I thought that Wirtz, it was nowhere near the level I expected to see from him today. I expected a lot more. I expected a better performance. I wanted to see him influence the game more when he was in. It was almost a little bit of a baptism under fire going up against, a real Premier League team playing with intensity at Wembley Stadium. And I also thought Mo Salah as well. Barely got a touch of the ball in the first half, was a little more involved in the second, but wasn't overly influential, had a chance to win it, shins the ball, takes the first penalty and sets the tone by skying it. And I called it. None of you were there, but I was in my living room with my brother, and I said, "Going over the bar." It went straight over the bar. Just looked at his body language. You could see he was going to miss. So a really, really poor day from a Liverpool perspective. It absolutely was. Some poor performances, a good 25, 30 minutes to begin with. But as I say, really lost their way. Palace grew in confidence and just took over the game. They just took over the game. And by the way, I feel like I'm sitting too low. I don't like it. I'm going to have to lift my chair up again. 1 second, people. And I'm gonna... There we go. That's better. I prefer being this high. I don't really care if my head's cut out on the top. It just feels more comfortable. In fact, I'm actually going to remove the scoreboard and change it up another time. I don't like that either. Let's remove it. That feels much more comfortable. And they deserved it. Let's go to some of your comments that are coming through here. Liverpool are starting to crumble. Now, I wouldn't go that far. Just a bad day. Teams have them. I agree, Neil. I don't think this will be every week. Terry, what about the state of VAR? I will say this. I can't understand why the penalty that was saved, Alisson was off his line. Absolutely off his line. You could see it. I could not believe that wasn't, that's Eze's penalty, wasn't allowed to be retaken. I absolutely agree with you on that. Clear handball by McAllister, robbed Palace of a pen to win the game. Those are given every week last season. Liverpool living up to their name. Look, I never want to see those given. I don't think they're penalties. So I'm not going to sit there and be a hypocrite and now suddenly say they should be given. That being said, sorry, the kids are going crazy. I thought someone got hurt. That being said, I've seen them given before, and I did think they were fortuitous. What I haven't read yet, and I'm going to spend some time before the Premier League starts, is maybe they've changed the protocol on that. Nothing to do with Liverpool, but the first game of the season and VAR fouled again, or what did they change the handball rule and I didn't notice? Maybe they have. I hope they have, because that was just never deliberate. It just wasn't deliberate at all. That being said, I did see many conceded like that last year. Liverpool, you lot don't need Isak. Just focus on getting more defenders, bruv. Palmer not going to be needed to score 20-plus goals anymore. Run those AST stats up. Assist stats. Look, I do think that with Liverpool, the one big concern I would have as a Liverpool fan today, the biggest concern would be the way that Palace were able to, on a number of occasions, 1-2 passes and Mateta's through on goal. We saw that in the AC Milan game in pre-season. That's something they've got to address. Maybe now with so much more attacking prowess, there's an extra player committing forward to the attacks. They're being more expansive, but they certainly look vulnerable to those counter-attacks today. And that will be a weapon that could be used against Liverpool this campaign. I absolutely agree with that. This game confirms Eze must go to Arsenal. Yeah, I thought he had another very good game, especially on the ball. And by the way, Adam Wharton. This is Michael Carrick 2.0. England should have built their entire team structure around Michael Carrick. We should be doing the same with players like Wharton and Kobbie Mainoo. We just don't appreciate talent like that. If it isn't blood, sweat, and tears and screamers from the edge of the box, we don't normally recognize it as being brilliant. F Liverpool and F Paul Tierney needs sacking. I thought Liverpool were running away with it all, is what Boomer Guna says here. Listen, they're still the clear favourites for me. My mind hasn't changed. But I know Kojo's coming on soon and he's going to bring this up. I just know what he's going to say on that. In essence, to everybody said they were going to run away with it, get 100+ points, and it was going to be easy for them. I make them the favourite still, and rightfully so. But run away with it easily? I don't know about that. This here, let's have a look some more. Palmer wins finals for Chelsea, unlike Wirtz. Luke here encouraging everybody to hit that like button. It is here where you is it here where you laugh at Liverpool? You're free to do whatever you want, my friend. Chelsea winning the Premier League. Let's have it right, is what Yezi Yoda says here. We have another super chat that's just come in saying Arsenal fans before the game wish Liverpool win because of the curse. After the game, not scared of this team. Good, need them to get complacent. Good, get complacent. Oh, what this recent run that the team that loses the Community Shield wins the league? Is that what the curse is? Well, it's already been broken though, hasn't it? Last year, Man United lost the Community Shield and we didn't win the league. So it's already been done. Last year, the losers didn't go on to win the league. They finished fifth. The losers finished 15th. So that's already been done. As an Austrian, I'm happy for Glasner. Congrats, Palace. Considering their summer, removed from the Europa League, they haven't signed anybody of any real note yet. Yeah, I'm really happy for them as well. I am. Gravenberch was missed. Glad football is back. Yeah, it did feel nice that it was back. I was just a little disappointed that it was on at the same time as Chelsea's friendly. And I get Chelsea would want it, in the middle of the day on a Sunday because people have got work tomorrow, school holidays, etc. But it just would have been nice to watch both games in isolation for me personally. Go at 12 o'clock, Chelsea. Do it earlier in the day so we can watch and react, and then we could watch all watch the Liverpool game with a bit more attention. I can watch two games at the same time, but it's never the same. I never enjoy it in the same. It's one of the things about La Liga that I like is that each game comes one after the other, barring the final day, so you can watch all the matches. I really do like that notion. Terry, you confused? No. What do you mean? Is the curse the other way around? So the team that wins it goes on to win the league? Well, what's the curse then? Someone explain what the fucking curse is. If you win it, you don't win the league. What is it then? Whatever way around that is, it didn't work last year, did it? So, yeah, it's the other way around. Yeah, well, last year, the team that won it didn't win the league either, did they? And the team that came second, but the team that didn't win it last year didn't win the league either. It's broken. Last year broke it. It's already broken. The superstition's over. That's how it works. The curse of the Community Shield, that the Community Shield winners go trophyless, says, they go trophyless, not win the league. Oh, if it's trophyless, fair enough. Because Palace might go trophyless. They don't really win a lot of them. But yeah, I don't believe in that. If you believe in it, you fan. Oh, that's the point. Right, I didn't realize it was go trophyless. I thought it was about winning the league or not. My apologies. You are something else, Terry. Well, no, I just didn't understand the curse. It's not. I don't really follow those things. The only thing I follow is the football gods. But if you gloat too much, you end up getting caught out. It's funny how people believe in that, but say the football gods aren't real. How funny is that? Right, look, we're going to take calls soon. So far, though, I just want to put that only one Liverpool fan has turned up backstage so far. I have to say I'm very disappointed in the Liverpool community surrounding the football terrace. But there we go. Now, listen to this. Chelsea were phenomenal. Chelsea were phenomenal today. Out of this world again. Slick, sharp, fast, accurate, deadly, clinical, together. The cohesiveness of this Chelsea team right now is on a different planet. They are on a They're on a wave and they're riding it well, and they don't look like coming off any time soon. Now, the early red card frustrated me. The early red card frustrated me so deeply because it kind of killed the spectacle a little bit. AC Milan changed their approach. You heard the intensity go out of the game. It's already a different type of audience and a different type of crowd because it's a preseason game. And I was very disappointed that the referee sent off, I don't even know his name, the centre-back who scored the own goal. You know, very disappointed. I know it was a red card tackle, but it wasn't violent conduct. It wasn't dangerous. Shouldn't have sent him off. I suppose in there, there was a test for Chelsea to go up against 10 men, to test their resolve against that, which may be important as we go into the new season for them. That being said, Chelsea still blew my mind today. My brother and I were having some barbecue before the games kicked off, and he's like, "What game you watching?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna have both on." So we had the TV up, open up the laptop for the other one. And my brother was like, "I want to see Estêvão." My brother's a Leyton Orient fan, by the way, so watches Premier League football, but doesn't follow it like a lot of us do. And we're watching it, and I could just hear him, and he's like, "Bloody hell, they look good." I said, "Oh wow, look at that! The movement, the shape, the passing, the crossing. You could sense something." And yep, the opening goal, good cross from Reece James, own goal. The second goal is what impressed me the most, because a lot of Chelsea fans spoke about last year, Pedro Neto maybe didn't have the best amount of output last season, but that didn't mean that he wasn't putting crosses into dangerous places, putting the ball into the right areas. It's just the number 9s were nowhere near the level of the Delaps and the João Pedros, and we'll get into Delap in a moment. But the movement, the spatial awareness, and the timing of João Pedro to come onto that header from that cross from Neto, again, should be sending some huge, unignorable, is that even a word? Unignorable? No, probably not. You're not going to be able to ignore it. Unignorable. What a dunce. But anyway, I'm a working class man. I don't care if it's not a real word. Fuck it. Let's add it into the dictionary. Lovely jubblies in the dictionary now. That never used to be a real word or had real meaning, but there we go. You can't ignore Chelsea. You can't ignore them. You can't ignore João Pedro either. The man, I'm not even going to say he's gone up a level, but he's adapted. He's adapted to that level so easily. And what I love watching him for is the fact that you can tell he's embracing the newfound responsibility. He's walked in and he's not allowing the fact he's a new number. He may not be the number 9, but he's a number 9 at Chelsea. He don't care about no curse. He doesn't care about what has come before him. He's grasping this opportunity with both hands, and he doesn't want to let it go. And that is going to pay huge dividends for Chelsea Football Club moving forward. He's different gravy. We've seen him already score one-on-ones, screamers, headers, the variety of goals from João Pedro in a short space of time demonstrate his quality. Phenomenal. Then you have Liam Delap come on, who, because of the excitement of the Brazilian wonder kid Estêvão, because of the way João Pedro announced himself at the Club World Cup, the Liam Delap conversation has gone a little quiet, maybe. To be fair, a little quiet would probably be a fair way to describe it. It's gone a little bit quiet on the Delap front. But again, he came on. Hold-up play was good. Touch was good. Presence was good. Confidence high. Has an opportunity from the penalty spot. Doesn't blast it over the bar. Doesn't put it wide. Bottom corner. Power. Accuracy. Bang. Gets himself a brace in the game. A well-taken fourth goal. Adds some real shine to what was a brilliant afternoon for Chelsea. A brilliant afternoon for Chelsea fans who will be just having sleepless nights with excitement, like a child at Christmas Eve in the build-up now to the Premier League season, because Chelsea fans believe. And it's players like Pedro, players like the Lap that are making them believe. But the player that I wouldn't say stood out to me today, I'm not saying he had a bad game, But the player who stood out in my mind was Cole Palmer. He played well. You know, I'm not, wasn't the greatest Palmer that I've ever seen before in my life. Wasn't the greatest midfield performance in the history of football. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. But what it made me think about when it came to him is they don't need to rely on him anymore. It isn't, we've played okay, but if Palmer doesn't deliver, we could be in big trouble. That seems to have changed. It seems to have become there are players to take that burden away from him. And what I think that's going to do over the course of time is give him that extra bit of freedom, that extra bit of time, that extra bit of, he didn't get a goal. I don't think he got an assist today. Memory served me right. Had a good performance, was heavily involved, but he doesn't always need to be the man. And I think when you remove that kind of pressure from a player like Palmer, over the course of a 50, 60 game season, you're going to yield better results. As much as he's taken to life at Chelsea like a duck to water, although he looks very comfortable, it's so nice in life to share that burden. It's so nice to know that somebody else can deliver without you being there. And, whether that's the midfield that's improved so brilliantly, the likes of Pedro and Delap coming in, Estêvão becoming a player, Gittens today. Better shooting needed. If we're going to get critical, if we're going to be honest, his shooting was a little off, but the danger that he possesses on that left-hand side is different. Neto today, who you could just sense by watching him, he's like, oh, thank God I've got some competent strikers now to hit, to put the balls in for, that will understand what to do, that don't always want to. And I know that people say, oh, Nico Jackson's a really good footballer, though, because he's good at dropping deep and picking the ball up and doing a flapjack and a drag back and a rainbow flick. Woo, footballer. Woo. His teammates will be thinking, no, what are you doing, you mug? This ain't freestyle football. You're not Jeremy Lynch. This isn't F2 freestyle football. This isn't the Ballers League. This is professional football. It's the equivalent of a boxer being really good at doing shuffles, really good at sort of shadow boxing, but then can't actually fight. In the cold, hard light of day, Nico Jackson was a striker, and he'd missed a lot of big chances, but he never used to find the ball in the same way that we've seen from what we've seen Pedro do for Chelsea in 3 or 4 matches. Now extrapolate that over 2 seasons for Nico Jackson. Just different level. And I think the likes of Pedro Neto, the likes of Palmer are going to benefit greatly from that. They're going to benefit from it in such a great way. And I said this Friday, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm doubling down on it. Now, of course, there's going to be bad results. We know what world we live in now when it comes to social media and talking football. Oh, Terry, you said Liverpool were the favourites and they lost the Community Shield to Palace. What you got to say now? The same thing. I've never said they're the only people, Liverpool, the only team that can win the league. Never once the only team that can win it. I might have had a few sort of moments where I've exaggerated in panic. Oh my God, no one's going to stop them in the heat of the moment. But when you hear the analysis and you hear it broken down, sensible people understand that I've never said it's a one-horse race and that Liverpool won't have competition. Equally, when I'm about to say what I am about Chelsea, understand that it doesn't mean they're not going to have bad days in the office. It doesn't mean they're not going to lose games. We've got to ask for football content creators, fans, to stop the sort of the hyperbole. We've got to stop. It's killing what we do. You said Chelsea start the season well. Yeah, they won their first 7 games, but they lost today. What you got to say now? That's the kind of analysis you're talking about getting. It's from those kind of people, right? Wankers. Chelsea are in this title race, and Chelsea can win the league. It is a simple and a straightforward. After everything I've just said, I'll boil it down to Chelsea can win the league. Liverpool are still my favourites. City and Arsenal then come next in terms of predictions, but Chelsea can win it. There's 4 teams in this title race this year. All 4 of them will show over 38 games that they are a step above every other team. The other 16, there's going to be some really good teams in there. These 4 are at a level above. This is 03-04 to 2013 all over again. Yes, there's a top 6 in terms of money and all of that, but we've got a top 4 back again. We've got a top 4 that you could bet your bottom dollar on finishing in those top 4 positions but Chelsea will be in that title race. Chelsea can win the Premier League this year. And I also think they're going to get better and better and better. So many young players that are going to grow and develop over the course of this season. They've still got more to come as well. They're going to add Garnacho. They're going to add Xavi. They may also be adding another centre-back with Levi Colwill out as well. Chalobah went off injured today as well, I believe. So that's going to be another player they go and buy. But they look up for it. They look ready. They look deadly. And personally, I just wouldn't be writing Chelsea off at this particular moment. But look, I want your thoughts. I want your opinions in our comment section below. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's do it. Now, we've done super chats. I think we've done them already. We're going to go bring on the panel now to have their say. They've been waiting very patiently behind the scenes for me. Let's do a few super chats first. It says, no, the curse is if you win the Community Shield, you don't win the league. That's why Arsenal fans wanted Paul to win. Yeah, I thought it was just the league. Now we're saying it's about going trophyless. That can't be true, though. I swear Arsenal won it and then didn't win anything. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. Maybe it's changed. Big up, Terry. Ekatike looks fire. Yeah, he does, Becky, and Liverpool shouldn't have taken him off today. Terry, I've been watching TFT for 3 to 4 years now. I humbly request you do the summer transfer ratings you did 3 years back. That was amazing. This window definitely deserves it. Big moves. Yeah, maybe we'll look at that. We haven't done that in a while, but maybe we could bring that back. That'd be a good show. I saw this from the start. I'm glad we stuck to the plan through the struggles. Now it's strong and most of all sustainable. That is from Runin. And Runin was on here in the tough times. One of the only Chelsea fans showing his face regularly during the tough times last season. And he did stand on that. Do you think Liverpool purposely, because of the league curse? No. There's no way Arne Slot went, it's all right, guys, miss those penalties. I don't believe it. No. Lost on purpose. I know what you meant, but no way. We have to banter Liverpool. 250 million spent is what Lamar Johnson says here. Banter away. Terry, if we don't get Belieber, get Adam Wharton. Yeah, he was great today. Oh, what a player. What a player he is. And also, he come from Mo. If you're watching, Judge Mo, he come from the Championship as well. To be honest, it is refreshing to see clubs like Palace win the Shield. That is back-to-back trophies for them. I hate that winning trophies means nothing. Look, we as bigger clubs often play down the Community Shield. I've been to the Community Shield final on many occasions, and it is nice to win. I think a club of Palace's size that now have their second trophy ever, I think it's very different for them. I think they'll feel differently about it. But yeah, fair play and well done to them. Delap and Pedro will each bang at least 15 GA. I think that's I think, Dre, that is such a basic bet you've just put on there. What you've just done there is basic levels. And I mean that in a nice way. Pure basic. Because they're definitely, I can't see why they won't get 15 GA each this season. I absolutely can't. Yeah, I can't see anything other than that. They look too good in my humble opinion. Right, time for the panel now. We've got 6 people, so because this is one I'm gonna be very panicky about this year. I like it to look symmetrical on the screen. I've not got ADHD. I just like it. So we've got 6 people backstage right now. Anyone who comes after can wait for me to rotate people in and out. But we've got two Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans that have turned up, to be fair. Don Hassam's nowhere to be seen. Where's Don Hassam's crying somewhere or making excuses or something. I don't know, but he's not here. He's not here. He's not here. He's not here. All right, let me turn that down so it isn't too loud. Right, who we got on the show today? Let's put this screen up here as we bring the panel in. We've got Kojo, we've got Jesse, we've got Elijah, we've got G, we've got Rak, we've got Andrew Barnes. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Rak, the Rackmeister. Rackmeister. What happened today, my friend? Talk to me.
You know what? I'm not too disappointed. Obviously, we didn't win the trophy, which is a little bit disappointing. But I think the signs are there that it's going to be a good season. And yeah, people will say, "Oh, you are just saying that because you lost." But ultimately, I don't really care. The bigger picture, the Community Shield is not what we're going for this season. We're going to win the league, and we're going to win the Champions League. And yeah, it's disappointing not to win the Charity Shield, but I'll say like exactly what happened after we lost to Newcastle. congratulations, Crystal Palace. They did well. I'm happy that that they got their second trophy. That's incredible. The fact that they haven't won a trophy now. Two like London buses, two come along at once. Yeah, but we got. I don't want to say the famous words because Arsenal christened them, but we got other competitions to go for this season, and that's where our priorities lie.
We've got bigger fish to fry. Yeah.
You said that, Terry, not me. You said that.
I said it for you because you bottled it. Like Mo Salah taking a penalty, you bottled it today. But
yeah, shocking penalty. Second shocking penalty in a row. Actually, he missed one in the preseason games too. So
a lot of people online were kind of getting at Mo Salah today. Not a lot of touches, not really involved in the game. Is that a concern at all now that there's been some bigger stars added and maybe more of the football is going through other players? Is there a fear amongst Liverpool fans that he'll be marginalised slightly, or is that just rivals overreach him?
No, I think it's still early days. Like there was some nice link-up play between Ekitike, Verts, even Gakpo moments, and Dominic Szoboszlai. A lot of that came down our left. But I think as the season progresses, we're not going to forget about Mo Salah. He's going to be out there. McAllister still has to come back into the team. Gravenberch still has to come back into the team, and we'll have to see which combination works. But I think we'll work out ways to get Salah into the game as well, and then it will become more difficult because obviously if you're dominant on one side, then it's arguably a little bit easier for teams to shut you down. But when you've got equal threats on both sides, then you're dangerous across the front line. And Ekitike, like nice link up plays, got his goal as well. And look, who knows what Alexander Isak may bring. So we'll see.
I hear that. What about the sort of a lot of people talking about the counter-attacks, looking a bit vulnerable to them in pre-season, same today. Is that something that you want? Is that a system issue? Is that the players? Is it about buying Mark Gahey?
It's a bit of a concern, I'm not going to lie. But I think it's just a question of finding the balance more than anything. And look, Slot has proved time and time again last season with the changes he's made. And I think he'll make the necessary adjustments so that it's just about finding that balance. Sometimes we're willing to get a little bit too open on the counter attack, but if that means possibly one of the fullbacks tucking in a little bit more and going into midfield, or making some adjustments so someone stays back, I don't know. I trust him to make that. But what's accurate is we are leaking too many goals, and that needs to stop.
Yeah, I hear that completely. G, as a Liverpool fan, do you echo that, or do you view today differently? Are you a little bit more bothered than Rak sitting in his penthouse there?
No, I kind of echo what Rak said. I'll be honest. More so the transition stuff. You know what I mean? I just think Liverpool need to sort that out, and we haven't. You signed all of these great players, but that's not helping what the real issue that Liverpool have always had, which is, on transition, you're one of the worst teams when it comes to that. And it's not even necessarily by the goals that we concede, it's more the opportunities. Do you know what I mean? Palace had opportunities and chances today to score more goals. But I hear what Rak's saying in terms of their signs. There are, like you saw Ekitike, you saw Verts, kind of, like you saw a bit of Frimpong, Kirkes, like there's stuff there. But I just think, Liverpool's biggest issue isn't the striker. And obviously that's the player that we're going in for. And I'm like, that's not where I'm looking at the team and thinking that's a problem. I'm looking more in midfield and thinking, you sort that out, you won't have a problem scoring goals because you'll be stopping them regardless. So the amount that Salah or Ekitike or Gakpo, whoever, that'll be fine. That's more than enough to win you a Premier League. But that middle of the park is my only worry for Liverpool going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. A lot of Man United fans are concerned that you guys, if you didn't get Isak, could pivot to someone like a Belieber, which I think would stop a lot of what we saw today. But as a United fan, of course, I'll praise Liverpool when I need to with the job that I do. I like the fact you do have a vulnerability, though. I like the fact there is a kind of, for want of a better phrase, because this is probably a cancelled phrase now, but a chink in the armor. I like the fact there's something where you go, oh, there's an element of gettability there, because I think it makes, if you guys just looked perfect and infallible and untouchable and impregnable, I don't even know if that's a word. I'm making up words today. I think it's too much beer, too much beer. What did I say earlier? Unignorable. That's just not a word. I don't even know why I said it. I don't even know what would you say instead of unignorable? You lot are all more intelligent than me. and educated.
Unavoidable.
Take notice of something. You can't ignore
Unavoidable.
something. You take notice of it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't know why I said unignorable. I'd be shit
You
at
say you
countdown,
take
wouldn't I?
notice, like the other.
I said it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a bad one." That I'm gonna get some stick for that one. But I hear you guys. G, any concerns around Mo Salah? He's trending right now. He's obviously taking a lot of stick and a lot of banter. Or is this just because it's Mo Salah and people are wanting to go in?
What's the stick?
He barely touched the ball, didn't have any influence, missed his penalty, had a bad game. He's on massive money. They expect more, etc.
I'll be honest. That was like most games that he has played anyway. I guarantee, if you added a goal or an assist to that game, it would be the same thing. Like, you wouldn't have walked away and thought, "Oh yeah, Mo was brilliant." You would have just said, "Oh, but he scored though, right?" Or he got an assist again, right? Like, that was just normal. Like, I'm not even mad at Mo. Mo's not even like I said, he's not even the problem. It's I don't want people to focus on like the wrong things. He's not an issue. Like, that was just a normal game for Mo Salah. Do you expect more? Of course you do, 100%. He's your best player, or he's your best attacker anyway in the team. So of course I want him to be a bit more, just have a bit more about you. But at the same time, you've now got other players, Ekitike, you've got Florian Wirtz. So these guys have to step up when he's not on job. And that's where we kind of failed at times last season, because he was always saving us. It was kind of like you're trying to hope that someone else can come in. No, that's working. I'm not really too fussed. Like, that wasn't, I'll be honest, I've seen that game like 10, 15 times last season alone. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really too fussed with that with Salah. Obviously, if it continues, it's a worry. But right now, we're good. We're good.
I get that. I'm going to go to Kojo. We are going to get onto talking Chelsea specifically later. But Kojo, what's your thoughts on the Liverpool thing today? Because I've just got a feeling you've got some things to say.
Now, obviously, I said this last time. I said the chink in the armor is that defense, and I know I'm saying it, probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it. But I honestly think that I said the only way you're going to get out of Liverpool is going to be that defense. Which is why I said I don't care if you go and buy Isak. I don't care if you go and buy Ekitike. You can go and buy Oshishevin if you want to go and buy him. I don't care. Buy as many strikers as you want. The whole team needs to work together. So if you have an over bolstered attack, then I know that that's not what we're going to get you. We're going to get you in a defense. And I said it when I came on last time I spoke about Liverpool. I said, what I say the AC Milan game? I said, who was it? Virgil van Decline. Didn't I tell you that? I told you that the Virgil van Decline is going to be their issue. And someone told me it's only a preseason game. And I said, no, watch him. It's not that he's bad. It's that he's declining. And when he's declining, what I mean by that is that you lose that yard of pace. You lose that a little bit of strength. You forget that you're not that player anymore. Right. And so what actually needs to happen is that it just needs to refresh and make sure that you got other players who can actually cover him in that space. And I don't think anyone can cover him. He's just that good. So to see him decline, the whole team actually suffers a little bit. But that's not to say that the defense is awful. No, it just means that that's where we can get at them. But to be fair, when I watched parts of the game in terms of Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's Community Shield. I'm gonna be honest with you. You want to win, but it's Community Shield. Okay, at the end of the day, I understand what matters is over 38 games for most people when it comes to the league. But what my thing was about for Liverpool is this season is about to be a very dangerous season for every team, because it's not about the top 4 teams that I'm thinking about. It's the midway teams I've told you about last time that are going to affect the season. Because I think the top 4 teams, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, they're going to do their things, right? But it's going to be those games where people lose points by not actually playing that team and winning, beating your Crystal Palaces, beating those little mini teams in the middle that's going to change the trajectory of the league. So for me personally, listen, fantastic game. To see Liverpool lose, I will never cry a tear. I said it before, I'm going to say it again, reiterate, Chelsea for the league, and sorry to Liverpool, but that Virgil van Decline, if they don't replace him or get someone good enough, you're going to see it's going to get worse.
What I think is, I think Liverpool so accustomed outscoring teams that they so focus on their attack all the time. They're so accustomed to they will concede a lot of goals, but they know they will go and outscore a team. So if they concede 2, they know that they could go and score 4. So they always focus on their attack all the time. Now, what I would say, they might just panic buy with that marker here, because we can't leave it late into the transfer window to now want to go and get marker here. the Premier League starts Friday for Liverpool. You all are going to panic by now. If you all knew for a fact that, as Kojo said, and he been saying this, that Virgil van Dijk is in decline, Marguerite should have been your priority from since the transfer window opened. You all should have. And you all let go of this guy, this young defender to Bayer Leverkusen. You all should have never let him go. But yeah,
God.
I agree with Kojo.
I hear that. I mean, Liverpool fans, what's your response? I see you shaking your head there, Rak, to the the Virgil van der Klein comments.
Look,
We've heard this before. We've heard this before.
Yeah, all players decline. Virgil van Dijk is not in any kind of substantial decline. In 2 years' time, when his contract's over, he won't be far off the player he is now, because it's not just about his pace. He has got it in his mind, the way he defends as a team. He jockeys the rest of the defense. He leads the rest of the defense. This is why he's almost like a Thiago Silva type, right? Thiago Silva's at the top, not just because of his physical attributes, because he was the best defender in the world at one point in time, but it's all the other attributes that he has. Virgil van Dijk, he'll still be playing. This is why I think he's going to play almost as many games for Liverpool this season and for next season. And it wouldn't surprise me already if we sign him to another contract after this contract finishes. I don't have any doubts about Virgil van Dijk. The issue is balancing the team. If we get the balance right, then we'll be okay.
No,
because also defending is not really. You have individual one-on-one moments, but defending more so than anything else is a team effort. Like if you get players in the right positions, that's half the art of defending. You don't have to be there to win the last ball or slide tackle or whatever. Just get in your positions, and that's all about balance, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, what Rak said, like,
So-
and I feel like he just got to tweak it a little bit, like Liverpool still got like the best team. So in my head, I'm like, well, you got the best team with the best players, so you should really be kind of calm anyway. But you just need to tweak it, because obviously, for what Kojo's saying there, I agree. If I was an opposition team, I would look at it and just think, well, Liverpool's defense, you just get at them, and as long as you take your chances, you'll be fine, because you know Liverpool will score. It's just about you taking your own chances. But on the flip side, I don't think it's a lot that Liverpool need to do. And by the way, this is me trying to look for perfection, whatever that is, right? So if you just tweak it a bit, I feel like Liverpool will be fine, like going forward when we're talking about defensive transitions and stuff like that, because they've got the players to hurt you, and they have got good defenders. Yes, Van Dijk might be a whatever decline you think that is, that's fine. But his decline is what we would deem to be the best player in the world. Like, he's on that level anyway. So I do get it. There probably is going to be a natural decline, and he needs to just check himself a bit, understand, I can't really do that run I always used to do, or I can't jockey the same way I used to be able to jockey. But on the flip side, I'm still Van Dijk, so I can still do what I need to do in whatever situation, kind of thing. So little tweaks. I think Liverpool they're cool, man. Everyone else has got bigger problems, I think, anyway.
I hear that. There's a few comments here that have come in. First one says that the two teams didn't play lightly. It's like it's just a charity shield. It was competitive. Yeah. It was competitive today, and I think both teams went in. And look, Palace haven't had a great summer in terms of what they've bought. Let's not forget that Palace are a really good team, and if you go back, they had a really bad start to last season, a really bad first 4 months. You look after that point, from like November to the end of the season, they were very, very, very good team indeed. Judge Mo joining us on the show now as well. This Liverpool loss means nothing in the grander scheme of things. The first 10 games are the best and only indicator for success for the EPL season. Look, listen, I agree by and large. What I will say, though, is that isn't the energy we've had for other teams. When we've looked at Arsenal's inability to break down some low box, Man United's inconsistencies as examples, Newcastle not winning a game, and I'm picking 3 different teams everyone feels differently about. We've all picked up massive indicators. In fact, a lot of us are looking at Chelsea and saying they really look dangerous. So that we can't not take any indicator from Liverpool's preseason or any indicators when there's some things. I think counter-attacks is a vulnerability, But that being a vulnerability doesn't mean they can't go on and win the Premier League. And I think that I said it earlier, it's become a shame within content creating. There's a lot of shit wannabe channels out there that kind of promote that kind of hyperbole in terms of like, you think Liverpool can win the league? Nah, because they can see some counterattacks. That's the kind of content. It's like Sky Sports, but shitter. Do you know what I mean? And we've just got to stop that kind of conversation, in my personal opinion.
The worst thing we can do is get complacent. Like what the guys are saying, there are legitimate points in there. So, but this is also why this is the job of the manager, right? If Slot allows this any kind of uncertainty to fester, then it will become a problem. But I think Slot showed last season that he's capable of managing the group, and he's tactically astute enough to not let that happen. But
yeah,
there has to be the
tell.
same energy, right? Like there has to be the same energy. Like people criticized Arsenal for preseason, and they criticized some teams. And to me, this was not a friendly. Neither team played this like a friendly. You can see the vim, you can see how they played. Both teams played like a real game, like a trophy. Liverpool, to be honest with you, like I was watching the game and I was speaking to some people in the other like Liverpool fans. Liverpool look fantastic going forward, phenomenal. The amount of exchange between players look absolutely amazing. But the downside of this, in having someone like having 4 attackers on the pitch, none of them actually contributes defensively, is having a little bit of a defensive problem. Also having a right back that is all his career, all his life was a winger basically, or a wing back, playing as a right back is a problem that is leaves a lot of pressure on Konate and Van Dijk. This is why if you want to nitpick on this Liverpool, it's very simple thing. If Van Dijk is not on top of his game and he's not the best defender in the world, Liverpool are going to look vulnerable. It's as simple as that. It's very simple, by the way. If Van Dijk drops 1 or 2 games and Liverpool don't have sufficient backup, they will look vulnerable because the midfield, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai in Germany, he was an attacking mid. Yes, he had a lot of injury, but he was an attacking midfielder. He was never a defensive. Curtis Jones is an attacking midfielder. Gravenberch not being there hurt them. You know what I mean? But in the same time, that's what we spoke about when having someone like Wirtz that has a little bit of low energy when it comes to defense and transition, than having a Szoboszlai who runs around more. So you need that balance. Liverpool Ekitike looked very good. I don't think Isak is a must for them. I think a centre-back is a must before Isak. Liverpool must sign a centre-back, and sooner than later. It looks very vulnerable at the back, especially if one of them gets injured. You are wide open at the back. Your 2 fullbacks as well. Arne Slot, as great as he is going forward, the 2 fullbacks, they're basically playing as wingers. Kerkez and Frimpong are wingers. Liverpool are attacking with, basically, it's a 2-2-6. That is the plan. And you have to have great center-backs to play that game. I'm not going to say that Liverpool are not favorites. Liverpool are still favorites. There's overreaction out there from people. Liverpool are still the best team in the league. They're the most balanced team in the league. They played without McAllister, who didn't start the game. They played without Gravenberch. Still, it's a time to embed players. But that very attacking way you play football, you need to sign centre-back. If not 2, by the way. And that is before Isak. You won't have a problem scoring 3-4 past most oppositions. But you will have a problem defensively if you don't sign a centre-back. That is the reality, to be honest with you. Like with Liverpool, if you want to look at the game objectively, this was a serious game. Crystal Palace showed Liverpool that there is vulnerability out there. There is.
Yeah, and I want to say this narrative of like talking about, okay, this game is like a friendly, or this is not serious compared to another game. I think that narrative needs to stop, because every time your team wins, then you have this chest to say, yeah, this is an important tournament. And as soon as it's your team that lost, then you say, okay, this is not such a big. I know it's the Community Shield. Arteta was big upping it like all the time, saying that that's the trophy that he won and stuff like that. The point is that every time an organization says that, hey, the FA is saying that this is going to be a shield or a cup that you have to play, then the teams go in. Like they are all going to work. They're going into work, and they go to do a job there. They're doing it seriously, and we can't sort of bring the levels up. Yes, like for example, the Club World Cup. It is a newer tournament, so it'll take time for it to build prestige. It doesn't have the same prestige as the Champions League, for example. So it'll take time to build these things, but we need to stop doing this thing. I know somebody in the chat sort of supported saying that the teams played like it's a serious game. These guys are professionals. They will go into every game that they put into to play a serious game, because people pay for tickets. People are sitting.
Yeah, but
in
in
the stadium.
friendlies, some friendlies are
No,
different.
but friendlies are
Like-
different more. So when you have international friendlies, when you do club friendlies, like a pre is different. But when you say that, okay, at the end of it, you're going to receive a shield, you're going to receive a trophy, it's still something that counts. Like, and if you're there,
Does count.
you have to go in and be serious and win it. You can't go there and like, you know, like sort of fumble the bag. You can't do that. And I think
I'm not
that
sure if
this
you,
game
yeah, yeah.
was a serious game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you guys spoke about the penalty or not. Can I just say
Yeah,
that was a daylight robbery? Like I don't know
Yeah,
how this
McAllister-
was not a
McAllister, that was a
penalty.
penalty.
Yeah,
I don't know why that wasn't
Mr.
given.
Okay, thank you so much,
Unless-
Rak.
Unless
because
they've
it's
changed the
simple as-
rules, unless they've changed the rules
Thank
over the
you.
summer, that was definitely a penalty. I agree.
As far as I know, intentional or not intentional, if your hand is way outside the body and you prevent the opposition from controlling it, it's a penalty. As far as I know.
Yeah, it maybe. Again, I said this earlier in the stream. I don't like them given as penalties, but I absolutely concur. I remember the Delit away at Liverpool last year. The ball actually deflected his way. He couldn't. His arm was there, but he couldn't do anything, and a penalty was given. But maybe they've changed the protocol and they haven't updated us yet. I hope they've changed the protocol because they shouldn't be. But the bigger grievance for me was Alisson coming off his line in the penalty. Yeah, the commentators went, "Oh, he's off his line." They showed us a still frame. We all went, "Yeah, he's off his line." And then very quickly they went, "Yeah, it's been cleared." And I was sitting there like, I'm not blaming Liverpool for this. Liverpool are not. I always say there's no team cheats. It's the. It doesn't help Liverpool's cause of not being Liverpool, does it? When those little, you just think those little things happen.
Well,
Man.
Arsenal fans don't believe you, though. The thing about it, you keep saying it, right? The problem is, I'm being serious, by the way. I'm being serious. Terry keeps saying it. Terry keeps saying it, and I'm saying it to big up Terry for this. He's calling for Man United, City, Liverpool, Arsenal. We all here, Rak as well. He says it as it is. The problem is, and I'm being honest, Arsenal fans don't see it this way. They say, okay, we keep saying it. Liverpool are not cheating. The Pigeon are not cheating. Okay, why is it happening not for us? Why it doesn't happen for us? Why it's happening only for other teams? Like we keep giving
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
Arsenal fans say.
You will say that because this is what's going to, what's going to end up happening, right? And this is just because I just sometimes feel like football's written this way. Next Sunday, we're all going to be sitting here at exactly this time. Man United win 2-1 with a late penalty, and it conceded in exactly the same way that McAllister didn't. Now, the Premier League game, you could argue, is more important, although it's not for a trophy because it's towards the league. That's when the conspiracy starts because they go, hang on.
You would
and I
have
get
to
it.
give them a leeway, right? Like you would have to like
I
understand
would
their
agree.
point,
I would
like-
agree. But you nearly always see. Let's see what Dermot Gallagher says tomorrow. Let's see if he's back on Sky protecting the PG. If they turn around and go, now the procedure hasn't changed, but it's not for this obscure. They give a nuanced reason as to why it's not a penalty. You just watch in one of the big games in the opening Premier League weekend, they give a penalty for exactly the same thing. And like I'll always say, I will never blame Liverpool for that. It's not Liverpool's fault. But it just always ends up happening. It just always ends up going that way. You saw it when they sent Saliba off last year. Literally the very next game Arsenal played, they played Liverpool, I think, and the Liverpool player dragged him down, similar position, and you're like, oh, they've got to send him off. He gets a yellow card. You're like, oh, Arsenal fans are going to lose their minds. But that's football for you. Listen, viewers, we've got a few super chats. We are going to get onto Chelsea on the show as well today. AMT says my super chat was addressed. It was to address this Liverpool fan. I think we got that, my friend. This here says, I don't believe in bad omens, but I really wanted to test that community shield curse, is what Mohammed Mohammed here says. They love to slag Palmer and Bruno for penalties, but so easy for some. I sense a lot of high-scoring games this year, so much attacking talent in the league. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it could be a magnificent year for goals. Oh, Terry is moving up in the world. He's managed to get Nico Jackson as part of the panel today. I don't think Rak looks anything like Nico Jackson. What are we doing here? Like
a little bit.
Who do you think he's talking about? You think Jesse thinks Kojo. I think he means Elijah. I think he means Elijah personally. Yeah. Well, there we go. I could make no, I'm not. Why are you and Dom Hussein beefing? Me and Dom Hussein beefing? What are you talking about? There's no beef. There's no chicken. There's no fish. There's no beef. What are you talking about? I just said I don't know where he is. I thought he was coming on the show. Mo thought he was coming on the show, but Mo jumped on in his stead.
I'm
me,
gonna choke.
me and Mo were talking at WhatsApp. Like, you got Sam coming on? He's like, I thought Sam was. Considering it was Liverpool, he nearly always does. Elijah, because you haven't spoken yet, I'm going to go to you first on this. How impressed were you with your Chelsea today?
Yeah, really good, Terry. Like, the performance was fantastic. Like, the fact that we played on Friday and today, and the performances were still good, was amazing to see. Like, João Pedro, like, honestly, like, this guy is just something else. Like, what I love João Pedro, Terry, is that this guy is physically strong. His time is run perfectly. He scores a goal and he gets into the correct position. Like, if you look at the second goal, Terry, as soon as Neto crosses it in, João Pedro is in the penalty spot at the right time and he heads it in. That's all about João Pedro. Like, he's always there in the correct position. And for me, yeah, like, if you look at the red card, for me, that's definitely a red card because he was denied a goal-scoring opportunity because João Pedro was onside when if you saw Robert Sanchez made a pass to him and he was made the one and Kubas clearly fouled on him. So the rule is, Terry, is that if you deny scoring opportunity, it's a red card. So to me, that's the correct decision, if you know what I mean. But Reece James today, was really good. He got assists for the own goal that won us the free that Gittens, won us the free kick for. I thought Chesea looked good. Pedro Neto was absolutely superb, especially on the right-hand side. Lean Delap, as soon as he came on, when he realized that João Pedro was scoring, the camera looked at him and he was thinking to himself, what have I done? But he was like, listen, I've got to prove that I want to have a competition with João Pedro. And he comes on and makes an impact. You know what I mean? Because, Estêvão, won us the penalty, as soon as he came on, scores a brilliant penalty. And then the shot in the 89th minute was really, really good as well. So, yeah, man, listen, I feel like the question is, Terry, are these players ready to challenge? Because we are really good, but can these players do it consistently? Because that's the only way we're going to be in the title race if these players can do it consistently. But listen, man, 4-1 to Chelsea, really good performance. And we got Crystal Palace, which is going to be a very tough game, but because they've won the Community Shield, so well done to them. So we'll see how we do against Crystal Palace. But overall today, really good performance. And yeah, man, just happy to see my team just be really good.
I bet. I bet. So, Jess, I'm going to go to Mo because Mo's got to jump off in a second. But Mo, what did you make of Chelsea today?
I think we need to speak seriously about Chelsea. I actually seeing signs of Chelsea continuation of last season. I think the Club World Cup helped them that they didn't get an off season, by the way. It's one of the things that I'm watching today. I'm like, this is the same team that ended the season last season with 7 wins out of 8 and clean sheets and not conceding goals. And the attack look a little bit more fluid. I don't know why people are so hesitant of trying to put a little bit of pressure off Chelsea. When I'm putting pressure on Chelsea, I'm not putting pressure on them as they must. But I'm saying, if Arsenal did it, if Arsenal came from 5th to actually be 90% top of the league and they were consistent, what is stopping this Chelsea, who I believe have more depth than the Arsenal team of 22 and 23? This Chelsea team, it looks like it's more ready than that Arsenal team. And I'm watching them and I'm like, the competition between Delap and João Pedro, this is what they push each other and they're so different. But I think it's a very healthy competition. The wingers look very good. Gittens, I was unfamiliar with you. He is so tricky on the ball. He's so good on the ball as well. Pedro Neto looks like he's improving. But I got one more thing about this guy, Estêvão Williams. I believe he's going to shock us all. He's a team player. He's very talented and he's so different. And I'm going to say this. The majority of the young Brazilian kids that come from Brazil with hype, they look like they play as divas. We saw Vini Jr., we saw other Brazilian kids. This kid looks like a team player. He doesn't try anything like outside of the ordinary. He tries to keep it ticking, keep it moving. He is playing like he's one of the guys. He's not coming in as a diva. And I think that is what makes him different than the others. It took Vini Jr. years, and we remember Benzema telling people not to pass to him. Estêvão Williams is going to shock you, to be honest. I was unfamiliar with him as well. He looks so good. It looks like a good team player that is actually gelling with the team. looks like he has been playing there forever, even though he has been here there only for a week. I feel João Pedro is the same. Looks like he has been playing for years at Chelsea with these guys. I think Chelsea need to sign a centre back because now Chalobah's injured, by the way.
Exactly,
so now they need to sign a centre back. But I think people need
Chalobah's
to
injured
take Chelsea.
as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Chelsea.
Oh wow. Okay.
So Chelsea need to be taken seriously. I'm not saying taken seriously by winning the league, by taking seriously in terms of they can put a challenge and anything can happen. We have seen it. Anything, you'd never know what is going to happen to Liverpool or Arsenal or City. But Chelsea are a serious team. And if anyone is not saying that, because I've heard it yesterday, some YouTubers said that Chelsea are going to be in a top 4 race with Spurs and Aston Villa. And I'm like, you're really deluding yourself. You're like just deluding yourself. Chelsea are so good. They're so fluid and the attack is deep and it's good. The midfield is deep as well. They have built something and I didn't see the vision, but now I see it now. So I got to raise my hand and say, now I see the vision and what they are doing.
No, but it's interesting what you said more about Estêvão is because he has a really solid family background. Like, you know, his dad is a pastor. They come from a very like spiritual faith sort of like driven family. I think that also helps. And you can see this kid, he sort of like really like you said, embodies this team like a family. He treats it like that. And that's something that I'm really excited for. And I know the chat was saying we said the same thing about Washington and Angelo. These guys didn't have the same impact as this guy.
No. I'm gonna just again. I can't speak.
I'm gonna have to
to
jump off.
Cheers, Mo. I'm gonna put this out there now. I don't care for other Tim Pot, Pony, average platforms. You know, no Chelsea fan on the Football Terrace in the comments. Really, no one that really super chatted. Definitely none of our panelists ever sat there and spoke with the same excitement about Angelo and Washington as they are with Estêvão. That is a bull-faced lie, and I'll protect. If someone's done it on another platform, don't care. No disrespect to them, but this Chelsea community on the Football Terrace, that wasn't being said at all. I've got to stand up for the Chelsea community there.
No, I fully agree. I fully agree with you because the thing is, this guy is sort of like exciting to watch, and I just want to like break down like from what I saw. I think you brought this up, Terry, in terms of the red card. So like the red card was a red card, so we can't deny that. He could have, because it's a friendly, he could have played a yellow and continued, but he did his job. There were two things about this now. I was happy that Chelsea got the red card because I wanted to see what Chelsea would do when it was a low block, because this is what has been our problem. So that's what I wanted to see, how they're going to break this down. Is Gittens going to be that guy? Because this is what we were complaining about Sancho, to say like, he won't be able to do that. And like you said as well, so Gittens was like beating his man. He was doing all of that, but his final like shot was not good. And understood, he's still gelling into the team. But I can see that there is something there. Even if there's a low block, we can. And we have to talk about Andre Santos, because that guy, when there's a low block, he does these things.
Sorry, someone just called in a fucking canoe. What's going on?
How we doing?
What's going on? You're on a
talking about Chelsea. A kayak.
He's in a
I was out with my partner on the kayak, and then you are.
Go for it. Don't drown.
He's gone overboard.
What's hard to be alive? Signal was pretty bad. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Speak.
Oh, perfect. To be fair, it was a good game. It was pretty easy as the game went on. I think the first 10 minutes we started like the house on fire, and then I think when that red card came in, it kind of killed the game off a little bit. And I feel like we didn't really feel like we needed to kind of kick on. I mean, the previous game a couple of days ago, that was a lot more entertaining, and even though today we had more goals, but yeah, I think it was the main thing today was no injuries, just no injuries at all. It was a shame about Chalobah. I mean, he walked off in the end, so hopefully it was all right. But yeah, to me, Reece James was the man of the match. He was outstanding today. The way where, I can't remember who took it round the keeper, but the way when their player took it round and he was able to stop that was top class. That was back to Reece James at his best. But yeah, no, it was just it was a good game. As I said, now just prepare for the season. Hopefully Chalobah's not out, otherwise it's a bit of a problem. One player I do want to see get a bit more minutes though is Josh Champong. because I really like this kid. In Conference League, he was always really solid. I feel like he actually probably fits the system better from what I've seen than Gusto does. But yeah, we'll see if we do. If Chalobah is injured, then it's a bit of a shame. He has had a bit of a record in the past. But yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely. I need to let you know that there's a shark behind you. I can see the fin. I can see
Did you watch the game in the canoe?
Whereabouts are you? I'm genuinely intrigued. Whereabouts are you?
Croatia.
Oh, nice. But they've got beautiful beaches there.
Half
Beautiful
an hour
beaches.
drive from Zadar in Croatia.
Oh, nice.
Lovely.
Nice.
All pebbles though. There's very few sandy beaches. All pebbles. But yeah, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. That's why when I was on a couple of days ago, my partner was asleep in bed, so I was on the balcony, so it was very dark. That's why.
That's what you would do. Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful country.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. But look, mate, I'm going to let you crack
But yeah,
on.
I was out with my partner on the.
Yeah, no, mate. Honestly, I have taken calls from some weird places. On a canoe in the ocean is amazing. I love it. Cheers, Nick. We'll chat again soon, mate. Top man. Be safe. See you later. Cheers.
Yeah, but
sorry, I sorry to interject, Andrew. I just see it. I was like, I saw a life jacket, and I was like, he's on a boat. No, he ain't. He's on a canoe. Sorry, that's amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'll just finish my thought really quickly and let somebody else go next. So basically, what I was saying was that it's amazing to see this team, and I think he brought up Reece James. What I would like to see Maresca do is play Reece James with Delap in the center, because Reece James does a lot of crossing and he does quality crosses in. And I think both the friendly games, what happened was he played Gusto with Delap and he played James with Pedro, João Pedro. And I think we need to see Delap with James. I think it could cause a lot of problems because he's a proper number 9. And other than that, for me, like the team, I want to like big up like all of these guys. One thing that you said, which I really love, and I want to voice or second it, is to say that because of how we are playing now, because we have all of these guys who are taking responsibility, playing maturely, Palmer can really take his time and play the game that he wants to play. And we won't have like Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans, and not you, Rak, I'm talking about Hussam, on his back, where they constantly putting him down. Because I think that this guy, when he has time, we saw what he did in the Club World Cup final. When he has time, it's just poetry in motion. Like I think this team is going to do well. Like chest up, chest out, I can say that that we will be in the mix. It is going to be a fun season to watch, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I agree. Kojo, what's your thoughts on Chelsea today, mate? Because it's been a few weeks since we spoke. You've come back. You've had a couple of preseason games. You do look purring and ready for the season to begin.
Yeah, listen, look. I mean, I watched this whole game and I was impressed. Of course, we have to be fair though. I think Milan they also had some game. I think they had a game the day before as well, innit? Right? So they played Leeds or whatever. So
yeah,
they
that
also
was
had some games
yesterday.
before.
That
was
was
yesterday. So
yeah.
I'll be fair to them as well, you know what I mean? But I was impressed by Chelsea. Same as down below as well, because I was wanting to see what happens with the red card. I was actually waiting to see what happens in the second half too, to see if concentration levels would dip off, if it would start giving play to them. And we actually did for the first 15 minutes. They were all over us. I can't lie to you, in the second half. We allowed them to come on to us, and they had 10 man. So that's something that they still need to work on, the Chelsea boys, about keeping up that intensity, that pressure, even if that means just controlling the play and not necessarily attacking on full throttle, right? But what I would say is that for me, in the difference to Chelsea this season and why I'm tipping them to win silently, okay, coming out of the dark, is because for us, I'm looking at Palmer and I'm looking at the fact that he now has game changers in this team and it's no longer on him. So he can do whatever he wanted to do previously and still have people who can contribute towards him, right? So when we see that, for instance, João Pedro doing a fantastic job. One thing about João Pedro that's different about him compared to all the players that are playing up front is the first touch is disgusting. There was one time even on the second half where they blasted the balls on the edge of the box, and the touch, he cushioned it so well, we had to attack straight away. So there's something about João Pedro that allows other players to play with him. But I would say this, I hope to see Estêvão on the right and Palmer probably playing a little bit in the middle. Reason why? when I saw them play together, there's something that Palmer does that he didn't do with anyone else apart from, I believe, Medweke at the very beginning when they started playing, is that he trusts him with the ball. Because if you see Palmer, he will give it to you when he wants to give it to you because he's like, I got to give it to you now. But when I saw him and Estêvão playing, there was these little 1-2 intricate passes that were playing on the edge of the box and going into that tells me that Palmer trusts his game. You know what I'm saying to you? Which tells me that this is going to be a very dangerous partnership between the two of them. So we need to see more of that in the game. I love the fact that we have both Delap and Yao Pedro. They're both ballers. I said it in the chat. I said, listen, if Delap don't score his penalty, it could be a very long season for him. I can't lie to you. So he scored a goal. I'm thankful he scored a second one after. But I love Delap because the difference between him and Yao Pedro is their positioning. Delap is somebody who's quite unselfish. So although he'll make the runs, he'll bully people, he'll try and get into the defender's face. One thing that does really, really well is that once he gets into the channels, he can put a dangerous ball in. And with the players we've got with Palmer, Estêvão, you got obviously Gittens on the left-hand side, you got obviously Enzo crashing in later on. These are going to be opening up spaces for me to come into that center play. So I love seeing us play this kind of football. And I think my final thing to say on this though is, and I think probably some things are just to help our Chelsea team. I know everyone's glazing Gittens. I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to warn us now. He needs to improve quickly. And I know it's going to sound mad. I'm going to tell you why. He's one-dimensional. Something about him, and I said it in the chat, he reminds me so much of Sancho with more pace. And he might get away with a lot more because he's pacey, but what he needs to work on is a bi-directional movement, right? So if you are going to be shifted only onto your right foot, make sure that your right foot is so disgusting that when you come in, we're all scared. Because at the moment, I'm not scared. I'm looking at Gittens and I go, if you come on your right foot, I'm like, well, go and shoot if you want to shoot it. I don't really care. You know what I mean? But if you're going to take me inside, make sure you take me inside and you're aggressive and you make sure you take me inside and I have to come behind you. And it sounds pause, but I'm just saying that now. And I have to foul you or something. You know what I'm saying to you? Like you have to force that defender to be fearful when you cutting him inside that he can't just take the ball off you. That's the only thing I would say about that, because otherwise what's going to happen is we're going to lose that left-hand side in terms of the effectiveness, because we had that with Mudryk. He's pacey too. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? We had Mudryk, we had Sancho, and they did well at the beginning, but towards the end, they all found out the same way. If you're only one directional, make sure that you're effective on that right foot or that left foot, whichever one you choose, and be, dangerous about it. But a great performance by Chelsea. I love the team. I think we're moving forward, and I honestly do believe we're going to be a spectacle to watch, because I think as much as people expect us but don't expect us, we play really well when we're the underdogs. And I just wish that Maresca had never said it last season, that this team can't win, because I think that immediately did something to the psyche of those players. He shouldn't say anything like that again this season. If they start winning, back them.
I hear that. This year from the Scouse Truck says, hey, Terry and the crew, as a Liverpool fan, I am more worried about Chelsea, as they have done what we've done, brought good young players who are turning into stars over time. Rak, do you echo that? I mean, how much of a threat to your title do you see Chelsea as, Rak?
It's kind of annoying, right? Because obviously there's no love lost between Liverpool and Chelsea. But I think the team and the squad they've assembled over the last couple of years is actually quite likable. Like, I like a lot of their players. Cole Palmer is an obvious example, but João Pedro is a great player. Levi Cole is a great player. I don't know whether they're going to be there in the last 10 games and challenge for league, at least not that. And I think part of the reason is because losing Cole, I think last 7 or 8 games of the league season and in the Club World Cup, Cole was a monster. And it's of course it's a huge shame, like an ACL injury. You don't wish that on your worst enemy. So the fact that he's not going to be around, those are big boots to fill. And even then, usually you have a season before you make the big step up, and that you could argue maybe they've short-circuited it a little bit by winning the Club World Cup. But I think they may go close and like maybe even get into the top 3 or be close in 4th place this season. But I still think Liverpool, City, and Arsenal have a little bit more. But I am watching them for next season because they are building something, and it's kind of ironic because obviously the project got a lot of criticism, and arguably justifiably so. But a lot of the players that they bought for cheap, a lot of these young players, they are actually turning for either break even or profit now. The ones that are hits, like the Cole Palmer and stuff, they're staying. Someone described it as a bit of a shit hits the fan kind of idea. I think that's a little bit too much. It's a bit derogatory. They're buying a lot of talented young players. The ones that they the ones that make it and the ones that are good enough will stay, and then they'll just sell the rest on and then try and bring some more in. And that's actually, it hasn't been done too much in the past, but it seems like it's working for Chelsea. So carry on. But Cole is going to be a big miss, I think. But I think they'll be close-ish.
Yeah, listen, I agree. Jesse, final thoughts with yourself, mate.
Yeah, well, I basically echo everything what everybody, the panel have said. Like Kojo and I, we were speaking in the group chat earlier on about, everything during the game. And what I would say, for us to actually win this league, we need the players fit. And again, as I said the other day, Terry, when I was on, we need to give the sporting directors some praise now. They are doing everything. We are now actually seeing what it is they talked about 2 seasons ago. It is now coming into fruition, right? They're buying players to back up the current players, the first team players that we have. Reece James, we know he always picks up some kind of knock throughout the season. We have Malo Gusto there. We are not putting Malo Gusto back in that midfield. We are letting him bump up and down on the wings that he normally do. So little things like that. Once we keep our players fit, and I would say Xavi Simons and Garnacho. I know a lot of Chelsea fans, we don't want Garnacho, but I think we definitely, I'm watching this game today, we need them. If we are definitely going all the way on a title challenge, Kojo, you've been saying it. I am saying, bring in Garnacho. Make sure and get Xavi Simons. Because we want everything this year. We are going, if we don't get everything, we want to at least be there in people's faces. We want people to see that all the bad things you all said about us 3 seasons ago, this is where it is now. This is where it is now.
And they're gone. Now, listen, I agree. And Rak will probably echo this as well. As football fans, and we're all guilty of this. So I'm not sitting here certainly and pretending that I am holier than thou. But sometimes we can't see the wood for the trees. The sport, you guys had it last summer when Liverpool decided to sign nobody to assess this squad to really make sure they weren't selling a gem and a player they could still keep. Equally, they didn't want to buy too quickly and waste money. That was met with a ferocious level of backlash. You now look at it and go, well, it was the right thing to do. When you've got good quality people with great track records of running the football elements of a club, as sporting directors, football directors, maybe we're getting a few messages now where we should be a little bit more. I know this word is sort of kryptonite to football fans, but maybe a little bit more patient when it's people with good CVs and track records, Rak, making these decisions.
Yeah, look, I think with Liverpool, I can definitely speak about Liverpool. In the last few years of Klopp, no, I don't think there's no Liverpool fan who's going to come out here and openly criticise Klopp. But when Michael Edwards stepped away and Julian Ward stepped away, there was a bit of a void left. And I think we kind of saw that in some of our recruitment. To be fair, we brought in Szoboszlai, we brought in McAllister, we brought in Gravenberch in that time as well. But it just seemed, but we also brought in Darwin Núñez and things like that. So the hit rate wasn't there for when Michael Edwards was there, for example. And now some of these guys are coming back, and there seems to be a bit more of a coherent plan. These things just sometimes they take time. They take time to reveal themselves. And like I said, Chelsea have been getting a lot of stick over the last kind of year and a half, 2 years. And now in the last probably 6 months, last 7 or 8 games of last season, they made Champions League. I wouldn't say necessarily comfortably, but they won an exceptional run. I think they won 7 of the last 7 games. And then the Club World Cup, you can't really argue with that. So they've earned themselves some time. Maresca was getting criticised as well. And they proved I was wrong. But the thing is with football, you can prove someone wrong yesterday. They want you to prove them. You need to prove them wrong today as well and tomorrow, and you have to keep on doing it. So that's football.
Yeah, I'm not having a panic attack. Just a big update from a huge Cameroonian outlet that Man United are intensifying negotiations to sign Carlos Baleba. United want to finalise a full and solid agreement with the player before further negotiations with Brighton. Please be true. Sorry, I'm just trying to manifest something. Because I look at both your two midfields and I just think, fuck you. Fuck you. The bitterness, like, I'm not going to lie, watching the games and at the moments, like, this jealousy, like, rages up inside me. I'm like, I need some of that. I need some more quality. But we'll be talking
Terry,
about
your transfers so far have been good, Terry. Like, I rate Man United's transfers so far. They've been better than the last.
I agree. And look, if we could pull off a Belieber, if we could add a Donnarumma, we're still some years behind. But I start looking at it, and I think you had those players this summer, and then you do that again next summer in different positions: the speed, the quality, the power, the pace, importantly, the technical ability. It doesn't really matter. It does matter who our manager is. You want the best possible, but you'll just start to see the performances get better. My brother's an Orient fan, and he was really disillusioned. They lost a player final. They've actually had new owners come in, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I fell out of love a bit with football." I said, I was thinking, all right, bro, of course you have. You know, didn't go to the first away game of the season because he had work, and they hadn't got enough new signings in, and he was like, "Oh, bad. They get slapped." So last week they've signed some new players. They brought an old player back who came in. They've got a really good new striker. He went to the game. He goes, "We were amazing. We scored some goals. We're getting a new stadium too." Suddenly he's in love with football again, and I think we all go through that. Now he's my big brother, so I won't call him out because I do believe in family hierarchy. Even when he's in my house, I'm a bit like, there's a remote. What do you want to watch, bro, on TV? Because he's still my big brother at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And I can't disrespect him. Like, he saved me a lot when I was a kid as well. I would have ended up in a lot of bad situations without my big brother. But yeah, I think we have to be a little more patient at times, you know. And I get that all of us have been through this where we're just jaded because of how long things have been bad for. But when you start to see changes in new people with great track records, great CVs, I think Arsenal's growth. Fair enough, they're not winning the major trophies yet, but their growth from what they were, what Liverpool have been through sort of twice now with Edwards coming again, what Chelsea have built, maybe it will teach fans to be a little bit more patient. But there we go. Any watch-alongs for the Super Cup? I'm actually doing a watch-along soon for something. I'll keep you guys posted. I need to speak to the other guys I'm doing it with. Look, boys, thank you all for coming on. I want to thank everyone who's super chatted. I want to thank everyone who's hit the like button, everyone who's tuned in today. It always means a great deal to me that you're here. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo. We're back tomorrow morning around 10:30, 10:45 for Straight Facts with George, Jamie, KJ are on with us on that show. Unless there's breaking news tonight. If something big breaks, we will be live, and I'm hoping it's a here we go for Belieber. It won't be a here we go for Belieber.
One thing. How much do you think Brighton is going to ask for Belieber?
100 at least.
They love money, you know.
Honestly, it was. I think something like 85 to 90 with some add-ons could do it, but I think the overall package will be 105 to 110 million. But that being said, just watching Belieber play the last few seasons, because people keep saying it's one season, it isn't. It's 2 years now. It's just worth it. We need it. Him and Kobbie Mainoo together, I think, could be for the next 10 years. Could be outstanding. Quality on the ball.
It's going to make you work for that. That 100 million is going to feel more like
it's one of them things. Like if Margot Robbie says drink the bathwater, we get married. Where's the straw? Give me the straw. You know what I mean? So this is why
I love your analogies, Terry. Your analogies always.
This is one of them things where I'm like, you want 100 million? Part of me, when they say 100 million, I'm like, well, let's just get it done. That's not a bad deal. You know what I mean? So, look, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Go check out Footy Judge Mo's channel right now. Go and support my brother. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.